State lawmakers continue to point their attention to the 127,000 people in Texas who are transgender. In the current special session of the legislature, lawmakers are moving forward with a law that bans transgender people from using the bathrooms in government facilities that align with their gender identity. Activists say it's one of more than 200 bills filed this year that target the LGBTQ+ community. This week, in a 9-3 vote, the House State Affairs Committee passed Senate Bill 8, also known as the bathroom bill. The bill says governmental entities, quote, shall take every reasonable step to ensure that public bathrooms are designated for and used only by individuals of the same biological sex, end quote. The bill also restricts what family violence shelters and jails or prisons that transgender people could be placed into. The bill authors argue this policy is needed to protect the privacy and safety of women, while critics say the bill is discriminatory and threatens the safety of the transgender community and others.
I'm just asking if you're aware that because of legislation like this, that non-transgender women, in addition to transgender women, have been put at higher risk, put under scrutiny, and it's actually inviting more abuse from the people with whom we are the least safe, which is cis men, non-transgender men. Are you aware of all of these incidents as you are writing this policy?
I think what this bill does is it protects.
I asked if you're aware.
I'm aware of some of those, yes. But if we don't do this, you know what's going to happen? Women are going to continue to be accused of being the oppressor for saying, I just want a safe space. I just want to make sure that when I go to the restroom, or I'm in the locker room, or I'm in the shower, or in their prison unit, or in even a family violence shelter, that they're not being threatened, that they're not fearful of a man entering that space with no consequences.
A House committee heard testimony last week.
This is common sense policy. When I use a gym, locker room, changing facility, or restroom, I want to be confident that the space is for women only. And by ensuring these places stay sex separated, you will be safeguarding the women and girls of Texas from both physical and emotional harm.
We are not monsters. We are spouses, we are neighbors, we are fellow citizens, we are normal, and dare I say, boring human beings. It does not take much to understand this. Please don't turn what ought to be a terribly mundane task into a source of pain and anxiety.
Well-known Austin drag queen and activist Brigitte Bandit testified against this bill in a Senate hearing.
I'm a lifelong, born and raised, proud Texan. Would you look at me with my full face of makeup, long hair, dress, and heels, and consider which bathroom you would expect me to use? If, for whatever reason, you guessed the men's, you'd be wrong. Under this bill, you'd expect me to be in the women's restroom by your own definition of women. And if you thought otherwise, well, you can't clearly tell a person's gender just by looking at them, can you? I, in fact, am a born female drag queen that has used the women's restroom all of my life. This bill targets people that don't appeal to your expectations of how you think women and men should look. Just this week, a female teenager has come forward with a story of having to show her breasts to a server at a restaurant who claimed she was in the wrong restroom simply based on how she looked. Is this really what you think keeps women and girls safe?
Bandit joins us now to speak more about this bill and her work in the political landscape. Brigitte, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So, Brigitte, first, let's talk about this particular bathroom bill. What's been the reaction so far to the House passing the bathroom bill this week?
It's really disappointing that this is what they're spending their time on, especially during this special session, given the devastating floods and things that that would actually benefit Texans. That they're focusing more on attacking our community for political points is just disgusting and disappointing.
We've seen various bathroom bill proposals over the years. This one is focused on government facilities, not all public facilities. Why do you think that is? And is there anything that stands out to you or concerns you especially about this version?
They're focusing on government buildings because if they were to do public buildings, then they could be challenged in the courts and that's more likely to be thrown out. So they're focusing on government buildings. Mm-hmm.
And overall, why do you think there were so many bills directed at the trans community this session? What's the goal of this?
It's to distract from real issues that are affecting Americans and that they are failing us in so many other ways. So they're targeting a small community that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Trans people make up 1% of the population. And even though these people probably exist among trans people, they may not know that that is a trans person that they have interacted with, right? So it's easy for them to spread misinformation and distract from real issues by targeting a marginalized community. It used to be the gay community, right? And then we saw more acceptance for gay people. We saw the passing of the gay marriage and stuff like that. But now they're targeting trans people specifically because they are such a small community of people.
And to note, the Transgender Education Network of Texas said more than 200 bills filed this session targeted the LGBTQ plus community, with the vast majority of them being targeted towards the trans community. It seems that Texas has become a sort of testing ground for policies restricting the trans community. What's your sense of the direction we're heading in?
Yeah, Texas definitely is the testing ground for this legislation that we're now seeing on a federal level, especially with the Trump administration. And it's really scary. It's really scary for a lot of us just trying to exist and have the same rights as everybody else. And it's really alarming. We need to be aware of what's happening and understand that these attacks are eventually gonna affect more than just the trans community.
You've been vocal in testifying against this bill, SB 8, and previous similar bills and bills targeting the drag performer community for years. You even went viral in 2023 for your testimony at the Texas Capitol. What inspired you to start doing this?
My care for the community. And once I saw these attacks happening and I understood the way that they misunderstand drag and our community, I felt the need to step up and speak out in defense of my people. I love my other drag performers. I love my trans friends. I love my queer friends. There's so much power in the queer community and queer culture, and it deserves to be protected.
What do you think is the greatest misunderstanding that people have about the kind of work you do and also Austin's drag community?
I think that if somebody were to go to a drag show, they have a lot of fun without all these ideas already fed to them, right? If they knew nothing about drag, a normal person who may not be aware of what drag is per se has a lot of fun, okay? I performed all around Austin, especially during the COVID lockdowns, in front of people's front lawns as like a social distance performance, and the whole street would come out and celebrate and see the performance for what it was. But now that they're using this kind of rhetoric and this legislation to villainize our community, it's really scary, right? So I really hope that people can recognize drag for what it is and don't let anybody scare you from who we are. Come to a drag story time before you judge what it is. That's what I like to say. I'm like, come on, see it for yourself. And the drag community in Austin especially, we are right here at the Capitol area where we can go and make our voices heard, and it really does bring us together and we understand the power of community and to show up and fight back.
And you've been really helping people understand not just, the Austin drag community better, but also just the state of politics. Let's talk about your weekly show, educating people on Texas politics and the legislature at Oil Can Harry's. It's called, I love this, Legislation and Liberation. What inspired you to create this weekly meeting?
Well, I think especially after I went viral in the 2023 legislative session, I had this following that was interested in politics and getting involved. So why would I not utilize that to educate people? And so I wanted to do it in a fun way because especially with everything happening in the news with the Trump administration and the new legislative session, it can be just so disheartening to be sitting there scrolling on your phone by yourself, and you can lose so much hope. And so I wanted to find a way that we could educate each other and be with community and still find hope and joy while doing the work to stay educated and get involved.
And there's been a great turnout, I've heard, every Tuesday night, right?
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really proud of the space that I've created and the community that comes out, because it's not just me educating others. We have other people on the mics all the time talking about different social issues and issues affecting our community as well.
Issues important for everyone to understand, whether you're part of that community or not. What gives you if anything, hope for the future?
What gives me hope is the community that I have. It's my friends, it's the people who come to the shows. It's still being able to find joy in some of the most hopeless times through drag and through queerness and queer art and expression. It's so powerful, and that's really what gives me hope and continues to make me want to fight.
And lastly, what's your advice to transgender Texans and others who may be feeling really concerned right now?
I would say that your feelings are valid. It is a scary time to be here in Texas as openly, visibly queer people, even closeted queer people. It's scary. But just know that there's people who are out here fighting for you and who love you, and that there is their future. We will win eventually, right? But it's going to take some time to get there.
Well, Brigitte Bandit, thank you so much for being with us, answering our questions and sharing your insights with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this video. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Austin Insight for free in the PBS app.